Start your birria the day before because we're going to marinate the beef cheek in a dry rub. So there's 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of dry oregano, about 1.5 teaspoons, so very loaded, of cumin, about 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of cloves and 1/2 teaspoon of black peppercorns, and you want to grind those up. I'm using 1 kilo of beef cheek, which will be enough for 2 to 3 people. Cut each cheek so you can easily double. Oh, there is a recipe on my website for more. Cut each cheek into 3 pieces. Put your cheeks into a bowl, mix together the spice mix, thoroughly coat it in the spice mix, and leave this in the fridge for at least 12 hours. You can make the chili tomato sauce ahead of time. I'm using 1 onion about this size. I've very finely chopped the onion. I had about a 2 centimetre piece of ginger, which I have finely sliced on my truffle shaver, and I am doing the same. You can cut it by hand if you want to. Finely slicing 1 fat garlic clove. I'm gently heating a little splash of oil in the pan. Add the ginger, garlic and onion to the pan. Now what makes this Mexican is a chili called guajillo. Now when I ran the restaurant I did have the whole dry chilies, and in fact on my website there is a recipe for birria using those chilies and how you soak them and use them in this sauce. I didn't want to buy a big bag of them, so I noticed in the supermarket they had a powder version. So after these have cooked for a little bit, this is what we're going to add. My onions are getting soft, so I'm now going to add 1 teaspoon. It's tangy, it's not spicy. I am going to put a whole teaspoon in. We can always adjust it and add more afterwards. It's kind of a fruity chili. Onions are nice and soft. I'm putting in 300 grams of passata and leave that to cook on a low heat for 30 minutes. Sauté's function is on. I have put some vegetable oil in the bottom of the pan and I'm just going to lightly cook the onions. Okay, onions are soft. I've got the beef can go in. Oh God, that smells incredible. And any collected spices. I've got 2 garlic cloves, which I'm just going to slice, roughly slice. I used the last of my fresh ginger in the sauce, so I've got these ginger freeze-dried granules from Jux, and they just rehydrate in liquid. So I'm putting in 2 teaspoons of the ginger, the tomato sauce that we made, the chili sauce, 300 ml of stock, beef or chicken. Now, if that doesn't cover, just add a bit of water, but basically you want your beef to be completely covered. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of honey, 2 bay leaves, and about 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. Notice how I didn't measure anything. Give it a jiggle around. Lid on and set the pressure cooker for 55 minutes. Once the pressure cooker time is over, you just leave it until it naturally releases the pressure, which will be anything from 30 to 40 minutes. Cooking time is over. I just want you to see how absolutely fall apart gorgeous this meat is. I'm actually going to put it into a smaller saucepan so it's easy to heat up later. But there it is, and I can literally, look, just mash it with the back of a fork. I'm just going to taste some. There are serving suggestions for this on my website. You can have it in a wrap with the sauce. I'm having it very simply with some rice and lots of sauce poured all over it. Enjoy. God, imagine doing this for a crowd. They would love you forever. You could have a salsa with it or avocado. Anyway, check out my website.